Hey everybody, this is Fran Fraschilla, draft expert and basketball junkie. To everybody who's watching, let's get our friends at General Manager Games the subscribers they deserve. Just press that red subscriber button and immerse yourself in sports AI through GM Games content. And on Twitter, it's GM_games. Let's get after it. Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome back. Welcome to a new Let's Play here on GM Games with Out of the Park Baseball 22. We are going to be doing a Draft to Glory style playthrough with the Texas Rangers. Rules are going to be simple, and this video is going to be a little choppy up front, so I'm going to give you the rules here. And then we're going to bounce back to Sunday night's live stream where you can see how I put the team together. And then I'm going to come back here and we are going to move forward from November 27th, 2021. So I started with a live start, so I didn't have to go through the 2021 draft again. I don't think anybody wants to see me draft Marcelo Meyer and Jack Leiter. Well, we have Jack Leiter on our team, I guess. But any of those players from the 2021 draft over and over and over again. So we did a live start. And I went through every level of minor leagues, and anybody that wasn't either a draft pick or an international signing from the Texas Rangers, I released. I simply just released them. So if you look at the free agent list, you'll see a lot of Texas Rangers on this list. None of these players you can see like this guy here was traded to us in 2020, so I had to release him. So anybody who was traded to us or they signed as a free agent, I released. So every single player on every one of our minor league and major league teams was a draftee or a international free agent. The only way I can improve this team is either through the first year player draft, the Rule 5 draft, or scout discoveries. Those are the only three ways I will be able to improve this team. So the first couple of years are going to be really rough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause, and we're going to cut back to yesterday's video. Or not yesterday. We're going to cut back to, it's Sunday. I'm recording part of this on Monday. We're going to record back to Sunday's video, where you can see how the team was built and how, what we ended up doing with all the players that were there initially. I mean, I just told you, but you'll be able to watch it. If you don't want to watch it, you can skip ahead. I think it probably went for about an hour and a half, and we'll bounce back and we will be here. So I'll be right back. Going through and cutting everybody that wasn't a draftee, or so like we'd be able to keep Tavares, which would be good. So we'd have our starting center fielder. We'd be able to keep our top two players. In real life, yeah, okay, that makes sense. That's fair. All right, so I think that's what we're gonna. I think we're gonna stick with the Rangers. I kind of like that pick. It puts us in a difficult division. We have more than enough money to make it work. We'll be able to dump everything into scouting and development. And now comes the time where we just start cutting people. So I think Nate Lowe, we know we're going to have to cut. So let's... And this is the only, I guess, advantage I'm giving myself here is by making them free agents, I'm not eating the contracts. So I can at least just cut them, and it frees up money. You wish you could micromanage international. How so? Like be able to draft like 14 and 15-year-olds and like develop them? Is that what you mean? What am I doing? Player profile. This is going to take a while because I'm probably not going to do everything online here because I'm going to have to go through the minor league systems as well. I'm going to go through. I'm probably not going to do like rookie ball. I might. I don't know. Give me something to do here over the next couple of days. You would love to manage scouting at a regional level. That's one of the things that Franchise Hockey Manager started doing last year that I really liked. They started, the scouting of international players was rated. Okay, so we can keep Guzman. That's good. So we have a couple players we can keep. The scouting was based on the quality of your scouting and the players you found was based on the amount of scouting time you spent in a specific area. But yeah, that would be really neat for them to implement, like, you have an international scouting budget, you have your scout, and then you have an international scout, and you can spend X number of dollars scouting in the Dominican or in Venezuela or in, yeah. Yep. No, I think that to me is an absolutely fantastic idea, because the international scouting thing has been, it's either too easy or it's too hard, right? Like, oh, he's from Woodridge. He's right up the street from me. Right? It's either too easy or too hard at this point. Like, in previous seasons, you could sign anybody you wanted. This season, it's a crapshoot. You don't have any idea who you're going to sign and or why they don't sign with you. So, like, to me, like, I guess if those are my only two options, I prefer to do it the way they're doing it now, because in previous seasons you could sign anybody you wanted. Now you can, you can't sign anybody you want, but you're not really given any explanation as to why you're not able to sign the players that you can't sign. So I love that idea, to be able to, like they do with Franchise Hockey Manager, where you can spend more capital on, I know I can get rid of Barack. You spend more capital on scouting in particular areas, and, like you said, you're more likely to sign somebody that you've been scouting since he was 15 or 16 years old or something. Charlie Culberson. And this is just what I'm going to spend the next couple days doing. So the first video for this, like I said, will be either Wednesday, depending on what happens with the draft day sports. Actually, the first video for this will probably be this. I don't really know. We'll see. So yeah, it'll be either Wednesday or it'll be next Sunday, depending on what happens with the football game that I am waiting on. It's weird, but it's hard to... Right, it is. It's hard to implement the real system, because you would need to add an entire... Oh, good, I'm able to keep 4 batters. I'm able to keep 4 batters. But at least it's my middle infield, right? My catcher, my shortstop, and my center fielder. Yeah, it's hard to do, without putting in specific... like you talked about, investing money into a particular area or a particular, person or market or whatever. It really is just these are the players and you try to sign them. I don't think I'm going to have a single pitcher on my roster, to be honest with you. That's fine. At least we know what to go after here. Oh no, we do have our stud, Jack Leiter in the minor leagues with the Rangers, or at least we should. Let's see where he is. There he is. So we get Jack Leiter back, and I'm going to change the ratings. In fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to change the ratings to 1 to 100, because that's how I roll. And I know some people hate it, but that's what I'm going to do anyway. I guess I can do this, but it doesn't really matter. What else do I want to change? We're not going to do any of that. I always change AI trading frequency to low. I just think there are too many trades otherwise. Draft is fine. And I think everything else is good. All right, so we just got to keep going through our roster here. Yeah, I know. You don't like it, but you don't like anything I do. So, well, here's a pitcher I don't want to get rid of that I got to get rid of. Dane Dunning. Goodbye. What do you think? What do you think I should go with then? If not, hey, we got a pitcher, John King. What do you think I should go with then? If not 1 to 100, I'm more than willing to be flexible. Do you think I should just go 20 to 80? See, Hi-Fi Pete, us New Englanders, us Bostonians got to stick together. Okay, so we got another pitcher there. Joe Barlow. Kyle Cody. Yep, we get him. DeMarcus Evans, I think, was he with it? No, we get him as well. Spencer Howard. He was a trade, so we got to cut him. 2-8. I didn't know you were going to be something dumb. No, seriously. So do you think I should go 20-80? If not 1-100? See, I've always played 1-100. That's just the way it's worked for me. Another draft. Dennis Santana. Get rid of him. And Spencer Patton. Nope. He was in Japan. All right, so we have 4 batters and 5 pitchers. That's the real rating system because OOTP doesn't have 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. What do you mean they don't have? They have 20-80. What do you mean? Oh, do you just? Oh, so what do you mean random task? I mean, technically, OOTP's got 25s and 35s and 65s and 75s. I just don't know the conversion. Well, I mean, it's all relative. I mean, if someone's rated, it's 80% is the kind of the way. I mean, I don't really know the I don't really pay much attention to the conversion ratings. I just know Joe Barlow, who's got a potential 98 stuff, is elite. And 80 would be, 80% as good as they don't implement 20-80 correctly. No, because they have the 25s and 35s and 65s and 75s in there. But this is the way I've always played. So this is the way I'm going to stay with it. So it's just the way it is. All right, so that's the big league team. I think he was a draft pick, right? Yeah, first round pick. Fulton Nevich is going to go away. I'll try to put the big league team together while we're all sitting here. And then, okay, so he can keep Jake Latz. Can't keep Tyson Miller. Glenn Otto. Why wouldn't it be that way? And if someone was the highest rated on the 20-80 scale and they were rated the highest on the what is this? What happened here? Selected the contract. How did he end up on the Rangers? Let's look. Glenn Otto. How did he end up here? How did he end up? Oh, it's part of the Gallo deal. Okay. So, he's got to go away. If you use a stick, people know how. Yes, you are absolutely quirky and unique. I'll give you that. I will give you that. All right, Jason Barr. He's not any good, but he's still going away because he was a trade. Matt Bush. He was a pick of the. I was going to say, I knew he wasn't a Ranger draft pick. We are going to be bad for a couple of years, and that's fine. So no David Kubiak, because he played in international ball. Joe Gatto. I think I already looked at him. He was a free agent. He's got to go away. This is going to be fun. I've never tried anything like this in OOTP before. I've seen a lot of people do it in like NHL Let's Plays, like on YouTube and stuff. But I've never never seen anybody do this in Out of the Park Baseball. So that should be interesting. So we can keep him. We can keep him. Major League Baseball. Free agent. And the last pitcher was Jose Leclerc. Cool. So all of these guys can go to the majors. Promote to Texas. Now let's... Yeah, I'm going to end up having to do a bunch of this offline because this is going to take forever. This is going to take a long time. But that's okay. It'll be fun. It'll be fun. Like I said, it'll give me something to do while I'm working. Because I sit, for those of you who haven't been in here before, I've got my work computer here, or my play computer here right in front of me. And then to my left, the one I'm looking at that has all the chat on it, that's my work computer. So normally I'm sitting like this, and I've got my game computer here, and I'm playing my game as I'm working. But the rating should be whatever I'm most comfortable with. And I am most comfortable with 1 to 100, so that's what we're going to stick with. John Hicks. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I'm looking forward to this. It's really I think the thing I'm looking forward to the most is within a couple of years of doing a Let's Play or a or something of that fashion. Within a couple of years, you're really, you kind of almost fly through the draft, right? Like you do the first handful of picks and then you let the AI make the final decisions and you just move on. The draft is going to be so critically important to us. Thank you. I appreciate your input. The draft is going to be so critically important for us that we're going to take our time. And, the draft episode is going to be a huge episode for us because we're going to need to, every pick is going to be important. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to and then doing the same thing with the Rule 5. I mean, this first Rule 5 that's coming up in, a month and a half. See, it's more fun, right? See, right, Random Task, you just hate fun. That's your problem, man. You are a hater of fun. So Hi-Fi Pete knows what's going on. You just don't like fun. That's not my problem. All right, so we can keep him. We can keep him. We can keep Ibanez. We can keep Jung. Oh, that's good. We can keep a lot of these players. Minor league contract, so no, you got to go away. Jared Walker. Doro. Draft pick. Yanni Hernandez. International. Jason Martin. Free agent. Editor. Get rid of him. I was going to make a comment on realism, but I wonder if a real GM refused to... Yeah. He's just being... This seems like a proxy. You know what? That's something I didn't really think about, Northern, but you're right. I mean, if we spend years losing, we're going to, they're gonna hack our budgets. But the advantage is that we'll be able to, because we'll be paying a lot of these players arbitration and we'll be going year to year with them, we'll be able to re-sign them without it hurting, without going over a budget. And I don't know how it's going to work out. I mean, I've never, like I said, I've never tried it, so I'm interested to see how it's going to work out. And it may be a complete disaster and doesn't work at all, and then we know. But because I've never given it a try, I want to give it a try. And Hi-Fi, Random Task is just being difficult. I don't think he actually cares. I think he's just being difficult. For me, it's not a matter of fun. It's just, I've always played 1 to 100. It's just what I've always used. So it's what I'm comfortable using. All right, so that is the AAA team. But yeah, you're right, Northern. I don't know. I mean, because they will hack our budget if we are terrible. But, obviously the first thing we're going to do is we're going to bump this up to $24 million. And we're going to bump this up to 36. and that's where all of our money's going to go. We shouldn't have any arbitration issues at the end of the year, or we might have a couple, but we don't have many players on our roster. But you're right, it could absolutely affect us. But by the same token, the Rangers were terrible this year, so I think we have a couple of years before it becomes a real problem because we just aren't very good. So, yeah, I mean, I think all of these guys are going to come up because we need players on the roster. So if we go back to our big league roster now, so we have 10 players on our big league roster, so we're going to be calling up players from AA, 10 pitchers. We have 13 batters, so we have enough hitters. We're going to need to find someone who's actually an outfielder out of this bunch, but we have enough hitters on our team to make it work. And there are some decent players on this list. I mean, Josh Jung looks to be a pretty good. I mean, the left side of our infield, which Jung and Kiner Falefa, isn't terrible. We have a pretty good center fielder in Tavares. Our catching situation's not awful. We have a good defensive catcher and a prospect in Sam Huff. So we're not in terrible shape. I mean, the issue is going to be here I think one of the things I'm going to have to do is allow. It'll hurt more at first than later. Yeah, I think, when you have 6 straight years of the number 1 pick in the draft and all of a sudden you're calling up, 5. Right, you'll just sign all your homegrown guys. There's nothing else to do with the money. Right, exactly. So I think if we can just. I got to make sure I shut off. I haven't even taken the job yet, so let's do this. Cannot be fired. What am I doing? Available jobs. Let's just take over the team, since we never did that. Yeah, I mean, it's the first couple of years were going to be absolutely awful, just because this is our pitching isn't. I mean, really, our pitching isn't that. I don't know if we're going to have 5 starters. Like, that could be a problem, but yeah, it's going to be interesting. It should be fun. It should absolutely be fun. Shirt and Apostle was a trade. Damn it. Okay. I was hoping, thought Apostle was a homegrown talent for the Rangers. Apparently not. Can you re-sign drafted players? I would say yes, because they're my players. I would say I can spend and that's kind of where I'm going to have an advantage over signing free agents, is that, if I have, a stud center fielder that, maybe is asking for $35 million, what else am I going to do with the money? So I may as well give it to him. So I'm going to be able to keep the players that, I'm going to move players up here that are going to stay with the team. I'm going to keep players that I don't have to. I'm not going to, I don't have to keep them, but I'm going to keep the players that I drafted. Yeah. I'm not going to let them get through arbitration and then just go, all right, I'm done. So it looks like I might be able to keep most of my lower level minor league players, which is obviously a good thing. Okay, so Brock Burke has to go away. Yeah, Hi-Fi, it should be a fun challenge. Like I said, I've never tried it before with Out of the Park, but I wanted to do something different because, I just did, we just played the Rockies playthrough for over 6 months. We started that back in, wait a second. Oh, he was part of the Gallo deal. We started the Rockies playthrough back in March, and so I went, twice a week on the Colorado Rockies for 6 months, and it was fun, and I had fun playing it right up until the very end. But now that we're kind of on the down slope here of Out of the Park 22, Out of the Park 23 will be out in 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, whatever it is. It'll be out in March or whatever. So I can resign players as long as they don't leave my team. Yes, the minute they become free agents, I can't sign them. So if he refuses to sign before Arb and goes to free agency, can I sign him? No. I can only sign players that are not free agents. I can't sign a player who has the ability to take a contract offer from another team, if that makes sense. But yeah, it's been I don't want to say the game's run its course because it obviously hasn't, but I wanted to try something different for the kind of the back half of the out of the park kind of 22 world, you know what I mean? And this seemed like fun. So I've seen a lot of people do this with NHL playthroughs. So yeah, I would say if I have a player who refuses, it has to be an extension. Yes. So it has to be an extension. I have to sign them prior to free agency. So the minute somebody else can offer them a contract, I no longer can. That's kind of the way I'm thinking about it. So I will have to overpay for homegrown players in some cases. So, if I get a player, if we get a 22-year-old shortstop who's just an absolute, monster and doesn't want to sign a long-term deal for a reasonable price, it may be in my best interest to offer, this 22-year-old, if you were doing, you say couldn't keep the past Arb, well, that would be that's next level. That would be even harder. Because I don't know. I don't know how, because that means you basically need the perfect storm, right? You would need the perfect storm of players coming up and kind of all being ready at the same time. Doing it this way, I can build a team. But yeah, that's next level. That's absolutely what it is. And I can't, no trades, no free agents, no international free agents. I can only draft players, and I can only draft players from the Rule 5. So first year player draft and Rule 5, and that's going to be it. It's a trade. So yeah, first couple years are going to be rough. But there are a couple of decent, decent players in their minor league organization. Leiter's in here. Now we're going to have to hire a different scout and stuff, so I don't want to go through everything right now. But there are a couple of decent names in here. But again, because I've never done this before, no extensions ever, just pre-arb. And yeah, see, that's next level hard, because again, you would have to have the perfect storm of, all 6 of these players are reaching they're reaching their potential at the same exact time. And if it doesn't work this year, you lose them all. And then you start from scratch, and that could take dozens of years, and I don't have that kind of investment time. So at least this way, I can build the team and put it together that way. So, history. He was a draftee. Sal Mendez. Okay. We'll keep him. Melvin Navoa. Yeah, so it looks like the minors aren't going to be quite as bad as I anticipated. Once I get to the low rookie ball, that could be an issue because there's 95 players on the rookie league team. But I'll cross that bridge when I get to it. 40th round draft pick, Cole Uvila. Avery Weems. He was a trade. And make him a free agent. Matt Wivenis. Rule 5 guy, so we can keep him around. He's actually probably going to go right on the big league roster. Reed Anderson. Draftee. Wes Benjamin. Oof. Okay, he was a draftee, so we can keep him. This guy was a draftee, but then was released, so we're going to make him a free agent. Does he really? Well, we'll have to keep him around then to and see how he does. Actually, he probably should go right on the major league roster. He's one of the better pitchers. Tyler Thomas. He was a trade. I used to back before I found out that Curt Schilling was a piece of trash. He used to play out of the park baseball, and he had a long thread on the OOTP Dynasty forums where he posted about one of the minor league teams that he had created a league and he was playing out of the park baseball and he was playing there. But I don't like talking about Curt Schilling because he's garbage. My trip back to Fenway Hi-Fi was absolutely off. It was awful. It was awesome. We saw them play Baltimore. It was Cabela was part of the deal for Gallo, so he's gonna go. It was awesome. It was fantastic. I hadn't been there in I don't know, 15 years. Was the last time I was at Fenway. So yeah, it was a blast. I had a great time. We got there super early. I stayed with a friend of mine back there, and he was a trade. And we got there at like 4:30 and just walked around and ate a bunch of food outside and, did all the touristy type stuff, even though he's not a tourist, but, I am. So, yeah, it was great. I had a great time. I had an absolutely fantastic time. He's not my ace right now. I have an ace. My ace is John King. That's my ace right there. That's 48 stamina, 92 mile an hour fastball. That's my guy right there, John King. There's a draft pick. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, good point. I only have to edit them if they are on the 40-man, because then they're getting paid. But I have a feeling once I get into some of the more minor leagues, I have a feeling most of these players are going to be draft picks, and I'm just going to, I'm moving through these guys relatively quickly. Yeah, most of these guys are going to be draft picks, which is good, or international signings, which is fine. Makes things easier for me. Granted free agency, so he's got to go, even though he re-signed. Yeah, I can't wait to go back. I made it a point. I mean, I absolutely, everybody associates themselves. Don't do anything fun. Okay. Yeah, Hi-Fi, everyone associates themselves with, if somebody asks you where you're from, some people choose to say this is where I live, or that sort of thing. But I've always associated myself as being from Boston, even though I've lived in Chicago now for nearly 20 years. I associate myself as being from Boston. So for me, it's really it was going back. It's very cathartic for me. Both of my parents passed away. My mom passed away 20 years ago. My dad passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. So I don't have much back there now, other than like friends and then the limited family. But it really is cathartic for me to be there. So I want to get back there more frequently, and part of that is going to be kind of doing some of that stuff that I'm not able to do now. Go to Fenway, or go to Faneuil Hall, or go to a Bruins game, or go to a anything like that. So yeah, I try to get back there about once a year. I'm gonna try to get back there more frequently than that now, just because it's my home, man. And I to me there is no greater place on the planet than Massachusetts and New Hampshire and northern New England. To me, there's no greater place on earth. And if I didn't have a wife that was born and raised here outside of Chicago, I would probably be back there already. But this is my wife's home. This is where her family is, and so here we are. And this is where I'm gonna stay, and I'm okay with that. But I certainly, people ask me, even now they ask me where I'm from. I still say Boston, even though I've lived in Chicago for almost 20 years now. So you only have your dad left and your brother and sister. Yeah, I mean, that's been part of the thing for me, is that every time I go back there seems to be fewer and there seems to be less and less there for me. But again, like when I went back this past time, I didn't go with my wife and kids. It was just me. I stayed with my oldest friend, and I stayed with his family, and it was awesome. Had a great time. I ate Kelly's every day. I ate Kelly's I was there for 5 days, and I had Kelly's every single day. I to the point, and this is no joke, when I went to the Kelly's over in Danvers, over by Liberty Tree Mall. And I had them sell me 2 quarts of their barbecue sauce. I mean, it's my wife actually for Father's Day this past year found the stuff that they use, the type of sauce that they use, and she ordered me like a couple of jars of it. Well, when I went back there, I went to the Kelly's, and I had them sell me 2 quarts of their barbecue sauce. So I ate at Kelly's every single day. It's good food, man. It is good food. So these guys, so I don't have to look at anybody in the international complex, which is good. The rest of these guys, I'm hoping, are all just, yeah. Linwood Cafe Pizza back. The 2 places I go to are Kelly's, and then the other place is, there's a sub shop in Peabody. There's 2 of them. It's called Giovanni's Roast Beef. And you can't get roast beef here in Chicago. It's not the same thing. Like the type of roast beef you get here in Chicago is it's like wet. You know what I mean? Like they, you take the sub and they put like it's like au jus kind of stuff. And to me, like, I don't find that good. I like the raw type roast beef that you get from, like the grocery store and that sort of thing. And that's what Giovanni's has. So when I go back there, I'm eating Giovanni's and I'm eating Kelly's, and that's pretty much all I eat. And I will eat Papagino's just for the, for the memes or whatever. But I you can't get. Again, being from the East Coast, I like the thin crust. I'm not a fan of the Chicago deep dish style pizza, so I always make sure to get myself some thin crust Papagino's pizza when I'm back there as well. So, yeah, it definitely has the juice. No, au jus. Have you ever? It's like roast beef, like dipped in the juice from the roast beef. You can't really they don't have it much in New England. But it's what they serve out here. When you ask for like a roast beef sandwich, that's what you're gonna get. And I like Papagino's too, but to call it good pizza would be debatable, but yeah, I like it too. And Random Tasker, didn't miss anything fun. I'm finding out that most of my minor league players are were signed by our organization, so we've been good for all but I think 2 players on this DSL team. International and Jose Viola. Yep, so just these 2 guys. Release them. All we were doing was talking about food, random tasks. You didn't miss anything. So we have 2 more teams left to do. The other DSL team and then the 95 player minor league squad. But I've gone this far, so I may as well finish it off, right? Corniel's got to go. Leon. Cueva. Yeah, I mean, I think almost all of these guys are going to be... all the 1-star players, I assume, are just going to be international free agents. Like anybody who's any good, like this guy was part of a deal. Oh yeah, this guy's really good. These are some bad players, man. These are some bad players, and we're going to be relying on a lot of them. Because the biggest issue is when we have players get hurt. Everything else you eat is a result. Yeah, sure. No, that makes sense. I mean, Stockholm Syndrome is an unusual way of referring to it as. But yeah, I mean, you eat food that you're comfortable eating. I mean, it's called comfort food for a reason, right? I mean, people associate it with the times in their lives where they were the happiest. And for me, not that, it comes out really bad given that I'm married and have 4 kids. But yeah, I mean, my childhood and, my young adult life was awesome. I absolutely loved living back there. And, food was part of that. And, when I think of, like, my wife hates, Kelly's and Giovanni's. She just doesn't like the way it tastes. But to me, it's my childhood. And for me, that's enough. But no, you're right. You're absolutely right. I mean, people, they consider, most people consider their favorite food, whatever they had as a kid. It's not matched. Oh, come on. All right, so we got to put him here. Let's do it this way, though. The Down East Wood Ducks. That's a name. That is a name. All right, so we're going to hammer through this, and then I think we're going to call it a stream here. Get through these remaining 90 players, and then move on. See if we can set the roster. Stockholm pizza is how people in St. Louis talk about their pizza. See, I would think that's how they would talk about their. Well, I guess that's Kansas City. So I've never heard of St. Louis as being like a big pizza place. That's like, I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know that was a thing. I didn't know St. Louis was known for their pizza. You had a place you grew up that was good, but they commercialized, so it's bad now. Is it bad because they're commercial, or did the food change? Because if you don't like them just because they're a commercial organization, that's a you problem, not a they problem. Like Kelly's used to be there was one restaurant on Revere Beach for years and years and years and years. And now they've got multiple restaurants, and to me that doesn't change how good the food is. So if you don't like it because they became commercial, that's your problem, not theirs. But if the food changed once they became commercial, that becomes a different story. Yeah, you're right. Your first experience is usually the best. Hi-Fi Pete. That makes sense. Brat. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're getting there. Hunter Bryan. Sean Chandler, 24-year-old in rookie ball. You got to love to see that. Joe Corbett. Sure. Aiden Curry. Amateur free agent. He's got to go. Ryan Deese. Destin Dotson. That's a name. Sebastian Duenas. International. Evan Elliott. The deli meat used to be freshly cut. Now it's all pre-packed. They make burgers and pizzas. It's all yeah. I mean, most of the I was having a conversation with somebody about this. I don't remember when, but international free agent. But generally speaking, some of the best food you're going to find are going to be the places that are like little holes in the wall, right? Like the little mom and pop restaurants and those sorts of things. Those are usually the best. Those are usually the best places. John Elvis Henriquez. Nyan Hernandez. Wait, did that say free agent? It did. Both of these guys can go. The good deli food. See, for me, I grew up at, I grew up eating at Hebrew delis and getting, like the giant wooden pickle barrels, getting the pickles that were like, that big around and, that big at, just literally stick your hand in the pickle barrel and pull them out. That's kind of what I remember eating as a kid. But yeah, I mean, sometimes places, they go more mainstream and then the quality of and it's not just restaurants, that's everything. Sometimes places go more mainstream and the quality of their customer service drops, or the quality of their food, or the quality of whatever it is they're making, or whatever. It's just, they make more money and they stop paying attention to the things that made them popular in the first place. Leith. All right, we're getting there. Yeah, Northern it is. I'm moving them there so that I know who I've looked at already. I'm gonna resort it once I've moved everybody. So a lot of those players in A ball are probably gonna go back to rookie ball, and I am gonna probably turn ghost players on, so that I don't have to play, my first draft picks in AAA because they're the best I have. So we are probably going to play with ghost players on because I don't even know that I'm having enough players to fill out the minor league rosters. Given like this guy I got to get rid of. So yeah, I'm gonna turn ghost players on, move everybody back to where they belong, or I'll turn ghost players on first and then move everybody to where they should be. So that's the plan. That is the plan. My wife and my favorite place is in New York City is a hole in the wall on like 36th Street. You will say the chain deli that is now a gas station has never dropped their cut. My two favorite hole in the wall restaurants. One of them is in Las Vegas. There's a pizza place in Las Vegas it's on the Strip, but you have to like go into one of the casinos and like through like a back hallway behind one. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. You have to go through like a back hallway behind one of the casinos, and you almost feel like you're in like employee only area, and they sell like giant like New York style pepperoni pizzas. I can't remember the name of it. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Secret Pizza in Las Vegas. That's the name of it. There's no sign on the front, and it's in the Cosmopolitan. It's literally like hidden in like a back alley someplace. It's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And then what was the other place? There was that, and then there was... I had two places in my head, and now I can't think of the other one. But that's the one that stands out for me, is that pizza place kind of in the middle of nowhere. Signed as an international free agent. 39th round. We're almost there, almost done. After the draft, so he's got to go away. Yes. Tristan Pauly, draft pick. Glenn Richardson, draft pick. Takoa Roby. So yeah, that was that. I remember going there. I don't remember. I've been to Vegas like 3 or 4 times, and I don't remember. I went right after my mom died, like 25 years ago, and then I actually went to Vegas for my honeymoon with my wife. Well, of course, with my wife. And it may have been then that I had it. Somebody recommended it to me, and I had to, and they had to like guide me there, and it was weird. But yeah, it was really good. I remember eating that place. It was fantastic. But yeah, that was kind of my hole in the wall experience, was hidden pizza on the Strip in Las Vegas. Wyatt Sparks, Nick Starr, Josh Steffen. So all these guys got to go. Corey Stone, draft pick. Gabriel Torres, international. Xavier Valentin. All right, we're almost there. Down to the final 5. International. Bradford Webb, draft pick. Widger, draft pick. Wynyard has no history, so we'll let him stay. And Yoder. All right, we did it. We went through every single team, and we cut everybody that wasn't a draft pick or an international signing for this club. So now we're going to go to league settings. We are going to go to rules. We are going to set ghost players. We are going to come back here, and we are going to set up our minor league system. I guess we had enough players, just barely. All right, so yeah, I mean, we may as well just call, I guess the first thing we should do is take a look at this. Our scout's actually not terrible, but I want somebody that, the only thing I'm concerned about is scouting amateurs. Well, I guess I'm not interested in scouting the major. Well, I guess I should be interested in scouting everything, but amateurs is going to take the priority. So let's look and see if there's anybody better. I mean, I think we all know who's going to. It's all the same people that are always here, but we'll see. Yeah. All right. So we got to. Yes, we did it. All right. So we got a couple of legendaries. I feel like if someone like Chris Nathan. Well, I mean, our scout is outstanding, excellent. So it's not really a huge improvement to go to Chris Nathan. So I think we stay with our scout until the end of the season and see if we can get somebody who is better across the board. Because I figure scouting majors is probably the least important of the bunch, because by the time they get to the majors, we will have scouted them throughout the minors. So we should have a pretty good grasp on who they are and what they're like by the time they get to the majors. So I'm not too terribly concerned about the majors, but amateurs, international, I assume that has to do with our scout finding us international players, and then the minors. So these are obviously the 3 most important ones. So anything we want to do last minute here? So I guess we can bring some people up, like Hernandez. And Cole Wynn's one of our prospects. And we're not going to be very good this year, so I don't see any harm in calling up players who aren't very good, who have no real room for growth. Although, I mean, we don't need to do anything until the Rule 5. You should get a tools scout. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I don't like this though. I don't like the fair under Yamada. I would almost prefer going with if I was gonna go away from our coach right now, I would go with Bridges. Slightly less effective at amateur. I don't know. I mean, Yamada obviously would give us the information we would need about the amateurs, but how they develop, once they're drafted, he stops paying attention to them. Tool scout with a legendary scout amateurs, which is what Yamada is, but what happens once we've made the draft picks? Like, you know what I mean? Like when they're in the minors, if they're not developing, is he going to be able to tell us? For Yamada, it's a 1-year deal. So I think, either way, we'll wait. We just wait to the end of the end of the regular season because it's playoff time right now. So we'll wait to the end of the regular season and then see if there's a scout out there that makes more sense. Because our scout is, what was our scout? I didn't even look to see what our scout was. Ability, yeah, okay. So we will have to go away from our current scout, just because of the ability rather than the tools. So, all right. I think that's it. So we made all the moves. We made all the changes to the team. We got players playing above their heads, which is kind of what I was afraid of. So what I'll do is I'm going to go through it. I'm going to look at all the players who have any potential at all. Anybody maybe that's 2.5 stars or up, and I will control their development. And I'll put them in the level I want them at. Wait for the off season because then we'll get a bunch of new scouts that show up. So, so I think that's gonna do it. So what I'll probably do is take the first half of this video, send it to Chris, have him upload that for the end of the Rockies playthrough, and then I'll have him send me the second half of this, and I'll add it to my first video on Wednesday. So I think that's probably the plan. So, yes, it does. It looks really, really bad. We're young, at least we're young, so who knows what will happen with, maybe these players kind of getting thrown into the fire here in the majors. Maybe they'll develop. Who knows? But yes, as of right now, we look really, really bad. Although the Rule 5 could bring some interesting names. So we got that. So we've got that coming up, and we'll see what happens. So what I'll probably do is my first episode will probably be a full year so that we can get the Rule 5 in and then go through our first season. So go through 2022, which gets us through the draft and everything else. And we'll just we'll do a season at a time because I don't have any of the other leagues loaded up. So until we start to be a decent team, I think it makes sense just to do a year at a time while we're terrible so that people aren't sitting here watching me lose 120, 130 games a year. So I think that's probably the plan. But I like the start. It's fun. I'm hoping this works out. Like I said, it could be a complete train wreck. So who knows? But it could be fun. We'll see what happens. But guys, I appreciate you hanging out with me tonight. Northern Random Task. Breeze and Hi-Fi and everybody else that was here tonight. We will absolutely be back here. You hope I was manager. I know you were. I will be back here next Sunday night, 7 p.m., but keep an eye out on the GM Games YouTube channel for the first video for this, because that will be up probably this Wednesday. So that's it. I'll talk to everybody next week. See ya. Bye. All right. We're back. It is Saturday, November 27th, 2021. It's the beginning of the off season, and there's not a whole lot for us to do other than to go up to the Rule 5. I did make a potential draft or a scout signee. I'm looking at Mike Dalton. He favors tools. We want people who favor tools. He's a legendary at scouting amateurs, outstanding at scouting internationals, and legendary at signing them and scouting the minors. Hopefully, this will help him find some good international players, as well as giving us some accurate readings on our minor leaguers and and the players we are looking to scout in college and high school. So we did that. And that's really it. I mean, you can take a look at our team here as it stands right now. It's not particularly good. Every single one of these players was either drafted by or signed by the Texas Rangers. So they are on our big league roster. Same thing with our pitching staff, not particularly good. A couple of decent pieces in here, though. Josh Jung is like the 113th prospect in baseball. We got Leotis Taveras, a 23-year-old center fielder. We got Kiner Falefa. Pitching-wise, there's not a whole lot here. Kobe Allard is okay. Was really bad last year, but he'll be, obviously part of the rotation because we don't have many other options. A couple of decent bullpen arms, but yeah, it's all got to come from within. So what I'm going to do now is this first year is going to be pretty quick, and I think we're going to do a year at a time here. So this first episode will be the Rule 5 draft in 2021. We'll sim ahead to opening day. Then we'll get up to the draft. We'll do the draft, and then we'll sim the rest of the season. It's gonna be pretty bad. So I'll be back at the Rule 5, guys. Hang tight. All right, it is time for the Rule 5, and all that's happened since I left was that we signed our what is going on? Why are the salary arbitration hearings all the way in 2018? Oh, because of when we started the season. Got it. We signed all of our minor league free agents, and we signed Isaiah Kiner Falefa to a long-term contract extension. He's not great. I mean, he put up 1.5 WAR last year. He's going to be very good defensively, but we have nothing else to do with the money. So we signed him to a 5-year, $35 million contract that'll take him till he's 31. So we don't have to worry about him for a while. And if he improves, then great. So it's time for the Rule 5, and we are picking third. And really, we need everything. So we'll make as many picks as we need to make. Is really what it boils down to. So let's start with pitchers. Let's look at starters. Pitching potential. That's what I wanted to do. All right, so Luis Medina, 22-year-old. I think Hector Yan is the way to go. You take him from the Angels. Low scouting accuracy, but take the 22-year-old. That gives him a lot of time to develop with us. A lot of pitchers were taken. Starting pitchers were taken, that is. Let's look at batters. I may come back and take whoever that was, whatever his name was. I've already forgotten his name. Estevan Florial, good defensively. We do need an outfielder, and we do need a right fielder, so maybe Florial is the way to go. Greg Allen is good defensively. He's 28. Oswald Cabrera. Yeah, I think we're going to take Florial. And I think O'Neal Cruz, assuming he's there, will be our next pick. Get a power-hitting infielder. Make him a first baseman, probably. Tyler Nevin. Let's go back to pitchers. Oh, is that starter gone? I think he might be. Nope, Luis Medina is still there. He's 22. We will take a run at him. Let's look at relievers. Taking anybody old doesn't really serve us any purpose, so I'm not looking at any of these older players. Darwinzon Hernandez. Yeah, we'll take a run at Darwinzon. Get ourselves a power arm. Maybe the control develops. It almost never does, but maybe the control will develop at some point. Raver San Martin. He looks to be pretty good from the Reds. How old was he? 25? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, I guess we've hit the 40-man limit. Is that the problem? No. Why can't we take him? Foreigner or age limits. Okay, well, let's go back to batters. Anybody else left here that I want to take? Jonathan Arauz? Not really. Tyler Nevin, no. Clint Frazier. I think we're going to take Cabrera, Oswaldo Cabrera, just because he's can play all the infield positions. I don't understand why it won't let me take him. I don't understand. Is it because I already took somebody from the Yankees? Can I take Aranda? No, I can't. All right, so what's going on here? We've taken 4 players. Jan, Abreu, Cruz, and Florial. I have 33 players on my 40-man roster. So in theory, I should be able to... Oh, it wasn't my pick. Or maybe it was... Yeah. Okay, yeah, so they want me to take San Martin. All right, okay, it wasn't my pick. I'm dumb. Okay. Let's look at one more reliever. If I can come out of this with 3 pitchers, that would be pleasant. But it's got to be somebody young. Hunter Shriver looks to be... Okay, but he's not young. He's 26. I want young. Like Vladimir Pinto. I like the stuff, so I think we're going to go Vladimir Pinto. And let's just take a look one more time at the offense. Yep, I think we're good. Nobody else here that... Oh, maybe we take Aranda. I like the I and the avoid K, so I think we're going to take Aranda, and then that'll be it. All right. So that's going to be it for the Rule 5. So I'm going to sim ahead now to the beginning of the regular season. We'll set our roster, and then we'll sim really quickly until the first-year player draft, and we'll see how that first-year draft goes. So, guys, I'll be back in just a minute. All right. We are back. It is almost opening day, and we were 9-19 in spring training. We weren't particularly good, although we do have the number 9 prospect in baseball, which is good. Leiter's going to start in low A ball. We have Cole Winn, who's the number 72 prospect. He's going to start in, I think he's going to start in high A ball, not double A. High A. And Josh Jung is going to start in the majors. So here's our team. Here is our team. We'll start with our pitching staff. John King will be our opening day starter. Albert Abreu will be our number 2. Yeri Rodriguez, our number 3. Colby Allard, our number 4. And Ravier San Martin will be our number 5. Leclerc will be our closer. Martin and Barlow will set up. Hernandez, Pinto, and Evans will be middle relief. Hector Yan will be a long reliever. And Jonathan Hernandez will be a specialist and middle relief. Our pitching staff is pretty awful. Offensively, we're not much better. We've got Yanni Hernandez batting leadoff because of the eye and discipline. Kind of Falefa will bat in the 2-hole. Josh Jung will bat 3rd. Ronald Guzman, the lone power bat in our lineup, will bat 4th. Yohel Pozo kind of came out of nowhere. He will be our starting catcher. Good contact, some good hitting stats, and he's passable defensively. We've got him and Trevino. Trevino will back up. Actually, Trevino... I think we're going to go Trevino because of the defense now that I think about it. But we'll make sure Pozo gets some playing time here. Yeah. Florial will bat 6th and play right field. Leodes Taveras will bat 7th and play center. We have a good defensive outfield with Florial in right, Taveras in center, and JP Martinez in left. So we have a very, very good defensive outfield, and frankly, a pretty good defensive infield as well, with Kiner Falefa and Hernandez up the middle, and then Andy Ibanez will be our designated hitter. So I guess that is your 2022 Colorado Rockies, Texas Rangers. So let's get up to opening day, and then we'll start simming. I'll probably just sim the first month, just turn on Civ and just sim and just see what happens. And then, at that point, I might sim ahead through up to the draft, and then, we'll sim the rest of the season. We'll look at stats when the year ends and stuff. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on this first season. It's more of a setup. You guys know what it is that we did, how we did it, how we got there. So we have the number 8 prospect in baseball in Jack Leiter. We have the number 10 overall prospect system in the majors with Leiter, Jung, and Cole Winn. So we're about ready to go. So I guess let's just get this thing started. So let's go to standings and let's sim until next month. Of course, we're 2-1 out of the gate. And we're in first place out of the gate, because of course we are. There we go. We lose a bunch of games in a row. John King expected to miss 5 days. That's fine. So a 5-1 start is turned into a 6-9 start. Okay. Hey, better than I anticipated. Playing close. We had the pitcher of the month and the rookie of the month in the American League for the month of April. We finished 10-11. I can't sit here and say I expected that. We'll look at some of our development. Tavares looks like he got a little better. Anybody in the minors that we're super concerned about? Obviously, we're looking for Leiter and Winn. There's Cole Winn. Looks like he got better. Didn't pitch all that well down in high A ball, but he'll be fine. So we had the rookie of the month and the pitcher of the month in the American League for April. News from your league. All right, so we just quickly look. We've got a really good bullpen. Jose Leclerc was the reliever of the month. 12 innings, 6 hits, 4 walks, 17 strikeouts. Rookie of the month was J.P. Martinez, who hit 386, 446, 542 in 92 plate appearances. Couple home runs, 9 runs knocked in. Guzman and Florial each have 4 home runs to lead the team. Our starters have been really bad with the exception of Allard. Is it Allard or Iard? I'm going to have to look it up. I think it's Allard, but he's 1-0 with a 3.08. But the bullpen's been good. Bullpen has been good. Minor league system has not been good, which as we would have expected, given that we have players. We have most of our players are playing above their pay grade, as it were. We don't have anybody coming into the ballpark because we're terrible. But we're rebuilding. Market size is big. If we can just play better than anticipated, we should be able to bring some people in. So, all right, well, that was April. That was unanticipated, so let's go ahead and sim to next month and see how May goes. Oh, Pinto's out for 13 to 14 months. Okay. So I got to call somebody up. Who's it going to be? Hever Bueno. We will call up the 27-year-old Hever Bueno. Stick him in as a middle reliever, and let's go to next month. We're still hanging around 500. I mean, this is really crazy. Bit of a losing streak here, but then we come right back and win a bunch of games in a row. All right, now we're starting to lose. Well, as soon as I say that, we win 4 in a row. We're now in third place, 23 and 20. So we're 23 and 27 through May. A team that was not anticipated to be good at all. 23 and 27 in May. I don't know how we're doing it. We'll take a look at the stats again here in a second. But Jung not having a great rookie campaign. Are we really just doing it with our defense? Is that really how this is working here? Kind of Falefa's having a good year defensively. He's already at 1.5. He's on pace for 5 wins. Most of that, I'm assuming, is through. It's got to be the defense, right? Our defense has to be what's causing this for us. We've got Sam Huff ready to go. We'll probably call him up shortly. But yeah, we are 23 and 27 through 2 months. which is good for third in the AL West. We're only 4 games out of first place. Yeah, I mean, that's great. I'm not going to complain. It's just a little shocking. So, below average offense as expected. Pitching staff is holding their own. Guzman's having a nice year, 13 home runs, on pace for 42 home runs. JP Martinez continues to play really well. 8 home runs, 24 knocked in, 1.5 WAR. How's Leiter doing? Leiter down in A balls, getting along well, so we'll go ahead and move him up to high A. Nope, not that league. High A, I said. Wynn is struggling in high A, but maybe now that he's got his buddy Leiter there, they'll be fine. Let's get to July 1st, and then we can I don't want to say do a deep dive, but we'll take a look at the team stats kind of top to bottom and see who's performing and who's not. Florial with a little bit of power. Yeah, again, minor leagues aren't doing particularly well, but that's kind of to be expected. So, all right, well, let's keep going. Let's get up to July 1st. Players. Okay, so Jose Felix was promoted to the international complex. Let's look at the draft pool. Okay, so we're scouted almost very high on everybody. No real studs in the draft, but we do have the number 3 overall pick, which means we're going to get Elijah Green, Tamar Johnson, Kumar Rocker. One of those 3 guys will be available to us. Drew Jones, I forgot about him. So, yeah, there are going to be some names there available for us, which is nice. I don't know where I'm going to go. I've picked Elijah Green before, and he's always turned out really, really solid for us. Tamar Johnson's hit or miss, but it looks like we're getting the good Tamar Johnson in this playthrough. Kumar Rocker looks to be really good. So I don't know what we're going to do. But we're going to keep simming. We'll get up to July 1st and figure it out. So we lose Allard for 5 months, which is kind of a blessing in disguise, right? I mean, he was our best pitcher. He had been pitching pretty well this year. 5-1 with a 2.73 ERA. He's now down for the season, so we got to call up Noah Brenner. We'll stick him in the rotation. Leclerc having a great year, and we will continue. Yeah, we're hanging in there. I mean, we're hanging in. The record is slipping, you know. I mean, we're hanging in there. We're 10 games, 11 games under 500 now. Yeah, this wasn't a good month. Wheels seem to have fallen off here a little bit in July. We're 30-44, 30-45 as we hit July 1st. I saw Guzman was having a really nice season, so we'll take a look at how he's doing in just a second. Yeah, he's got 20 home runs already. O'Neal Cruz is hitting a little bit. I want to get him playing time at third. Huff, we're going to need to call him up soon. The question is, what do we do with our catchers? Because, again, we can't trade anybody. So we either send Pozo or Trevino down, and Pozo's hitting 300. Trevino is hitting is hitting well enough to maintain because of his defense. So do we call Huff up and play him at DH? Like, that's an option. All right, let's look at stats first. So pitching staff, our pitching staff is not good. It's not good at all. Leclerc has been by far our best pitcher. He's been terrific. 33 strikeouts in 27 innings, a FIP of about 3.5. So I guess he's been out pitching his. 165 ERA plus. I'll take it. He's walking too many. Hernandez has done a nice job. 46 Ks in 38 innings. Yeah, he's already up to 4 stars. So this was a solid Rule 5 pick for us. Noah Bremer has made 4 starts, and just make sure, drafted in the 6th round. He's been okay. Bueno we called up, and he's been bueno. 3.9 ERA, 194 batting average against, 10 Ks per 9. Our starters have just been awful. Yuri Rodriguez is 3-8. But again, I mean, they're starting because I don't have any other options. If I had anybody who was better, they would be in there. Which maybe tells me that that's where we need to lean when it comes to our first pick. Maybe it's Kumar Rocker if he's sitting there waiting for us. I don't really know. But you can't draft for need. But I think with how we're doing this playthrough, I think draft for need is a possibility. Because if we've got a bunch of young offensive players on the rise, then pitching makes sense. So we got a ton of pitchers that are negative WAR, led by Hector Yan, who was a Rule 5 guy, but he's got 4 good pitches and decent enough stuff and movement, so we're going to continue to hang on to him. Offensively, we've had some wins. We've had some pretty a handful of successful numbers here offensively. Ronald Guzman, 20 home runs already, 858 OPS, 123 OPS plus. He's on pace for 43 home runs. Unfortunately, he's 27, so by the time we're good, he won't be. JP Martinez having a great rookie campaign, 781 OPS, 106 OPS plus, playing spectacular defense out and left, kind of Falefa. Again, that OPS plus is a little light, but he's playing very, very good defensively at shortstop. Jose Trevino and Pozo, our catchers, combined for 9 home runs and 41 RBIs and almost two wins this season. Yanni Hernandez hitting a little better. He got off to a pretty rough start, but looks like he's coming around here a bit. Yeah, hit 316 in June. 316, 451 on-base percentage. Estevan Florial is giving us what we would have anticipated, which is a low batting average with some power while playing very good right field. And that's completely fine, especially given that he's only 24 years old. He's going to be making the minimum here for a few years. So if he can hit 230 and hit 30 home runs a year for the next 4 seasons, that's great. O'Neal Cruz, we got to get some more playing time. Get him in at third base once a week and get him here at DH every 3rd game. So he'll play a few games a week here. Ibanez is not hitting. Doro, Tejada, Jung, and Taveras, 2 of the players I was anticipating to be some of our best performers, have been our worst. Taveras has been absolutely awful, but very good defensively. So, oh wow, he hasn't been very good defensively. He's even been below average defensively. So, yeah, we're not good, but we're better than I thought. We are better than I thought we would be. So, no international free agents. We cannot sign anybody. So we're going to go right up to the first-year player draft. And we are 31 and 47. Jake Latz eligible to come off the DL. We'll put him on a rehab assignment. Let's get up to the player draft. Yeah, the wheels sort of falling off here a bit as we move on. He's not happy with the team record. Disappointed in our lack of fans in the seats. He's not thrilled about our current prospect pool, but that should change after this year. He's been very happy with our goals, though, so there's that. Top 100 prospects. Leiter's down to 10th, but that's fine. Let's get up to the draft. All right. Oh, Yuri Rodriguez out for 8 months. There goes another starting pitcher. So we'll bring Latz up now, stick him back in the lineup. And this is the way these first couple years are going to go, guys. So, if you're not ready for the rebuild, I understand. I would say check back in probably about 2 weeks. And, because the live stream being 3 hours long should allow us to get through a couple of seasons. So that's sort of the plan, is to just get through as many seasons as we can on the live stream. But it's time for the draft. So we're picking 3rd. Oh, I got to shut off commissioner mode. Just realized that was on. Where am I going? Here. I had it on because I was moving all the players to free agency. Or I was making all the players free agents. All right, so first year player draft. All right, so Dylan Lesko, Kumar Rocker, the top 2 pitchers in this draft. Rocker's pretty well developed. From a batter perspective, you've got really Green, Johnson, and Jones are the three top offensive players. We don't need Jared Jones because we've got a handful of catchers. And then there are some better players down. I mean, Judd Fabian wouldn't be a bad second-round pick if we could land him. Cam Collier if he's still around. Gavin Killen is a good shortstop prospect. So there are a lot of decent players in here. So let's just see what happens. Baltimore will take Dylan Lesko. Okay. They took Dylan Lesko with the number 1 pick. Number 2 pick is Tamar Johnson. Okay. So that gives us 3 options here. And I'm going to ask you guys what you think or what you thought I should have done. We'll take a look at all 3 of these players in depth and figure out where we're going to go with this. So Elijah Green is still a ways off. You know what we're getting out of him. Good defense, a lot of power. If he can stay healthy, he will be he's got great speed. You've got Drew Jones, who I think is a step back. Jones is, I think, a bit better defensively. I don't think the bat is quite as there. Let's compare the 2 of them. We're in the right place. Yeah, so Elijah Green has the better bat. That just goes without saying. The eye is a little bit better on Drew Jones, but Green has the better bat. He's better on the base paths. Defensively right now, Drew Jones is the better of the 2. Slightly better range, slightly better error, slightly better arm, slightly better rating in center field. I think if I was choosing between these 2, I would go Elijah Green. I think that's the way I would go. The other option is Kumar Rocker. Now, my only issue with Rocker is that he's almost fully developed. So this is basically what he is. And given that he's 22, I mean, it's probably going to be 6 or 7 years before we are competitive. I like Kumar Rocker, but I don't think if he was 18 and these were his ratings, then maybe. But I don't think at 22, Kumar Rocker is the pick. So I think that means I've made my decision. And I think my decision is going to be Elijah Green. I want to know what you guys think. Is that the right pick? Should I have gone with Drew Jones and the bit better defense? Should I have gone pitcher? Should I have gone completely off the board and gone with somebody else? I think Elijah Green is our pick. We get a stud center fielder, and we make the pick. So that's my pick, Elijah Green rather. So you guys let me know what you think in the chat box. I'm not live streaming. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is that the right pick or not? So we're going to go ahead and pick until our next pick. And it is our next pick. All right. So now, what do I want? I mean, we need it, right? We need everything. So what do we want? What do we need? I mean, it doesn't really matter. We need everything. So it looks like there are a couple of decent outfielders. Gavin Turley, he could play center. With those ratings. He's actually a pretty good center fielder with those ratings. Who does our scout think we should take? Mason Pelio, a starter. 21-year-old out of BC. Decent stuff. Slightly below average movement. He'll probably be there with the next pick. He's only a 2-star pitcher, so I don't think I'm going to do that. What do we have left for pitchers? A lot of pitchers left. I don't know how many of them are that good. Jamie Arnold is an impossible sign, although we have the money to do it, so that's an option. Wyatt Beto is 22 and pretty underdeveloped for a pitcher his age. Jonathan Cannon might not be a bad pick. Good stuff, good control, movement's a little below average, has 4 potentially very good pitches. Jackson Cox, Brady Davis. Nathan Fink is a few years away, still at 18, still way underdeveloped, but has potentially 3 good pitches. Miles Jansen is a developed pitcher. Victor Medeiros, you know what you're getting out of him. If you've played a lot of Out of the Park, you've probably seen him before. He's always a high stuff, low movement, low control pitcher. Sometimes he develops into a monster, other times he doesn't. Bryce Osmond. He already has 2 really good pitches, a third that's coming along, but is that control ever going to develop? Chase Shores? I think Chase Shores right now is my favorite option. Good stuff. Average movement, average control, 4 potentially really good pitches. Already throws 95 to 97. OSA likes him a little more than we do, but low work ethic is a little concerning. If we go back to batters, Ryan Clifford, he's got a good bat. Front runner is a right fielder. What was his? Okay, so we don't have any. He's not very good defensively. He's either a left fielder or a first baseman, and he's not really a first baseman either. So he doesn't really have a position. I kind of like Gavin Turley. Good defense, good speed, decent bat. Power projects to be league average. There are more good pitchers left in the draft than there are good hitters. So I think we make another. Let's do it this way. Let's see if there are any. Are we at that point where we have? Yeah, we don't have any pitchers that are actually elite offensive players. There are a couple good ones, like Miles Jansen isn't a bad pick as a two-way player. I think I want to take old friend Spencer Miles. We had him in the Rockies playthrough for a while. The much better control in that playthrough than he has here, but still not a bad option. High leader, high work ethic. He's already pretty well developed for a 21-year-old. He's a very low floor or low ceiling, high floor kind of guy, right? With that stuff, movement, and potential. He's already almost fully developed. I like Chase Shores. I'm concerned about the work ethic. What do I do with this pick? And this is where I wish I was doing this live, but I'm not, so deal with it. What do I do with this pick? Jonathan Cannon was somebody I liked. Back of the rotation. There really just aren't any starters here that are saying absolutely take me. So I think I'm going to take that outfielder. I think I am going to take Gavin Turley with our second pick. He's an impossible sign. Damn. I don't want to take any chances with an impossible sign this early. If he's still there in a couple rounds, maybe. But not now. That's disappointing. Okay. All right. Well, then that means we may end up going with a pitcher. RJ Austin, again with the low work ethic. If he's still there in a couple rounds, I'll take a run at him. So I think we're going to go pitcher. And I think we're going to take that 18-year-old. We're going to take Chase Shores. And we're going to draft him. We have the money to do it. So we will take Chase Shores. All right, so now it's third round. Scout thinks we should take Brock Jones, a center fielder. I don't like the contact. Still a lot of pitchers remaining, and that was kind of what I was, I don't want to say afraid of, but that's kind of what I thought was going to happen. RJ Austin, good speed. Maybe we go RJ Austin. He's got the low work ethic, but, I mean, he's probably a second baseman with those ratings, but good speed. Has some pop. Has already advanced his plate discipline and is developing a genuine power stroke. Has the potential for an average eye and should draw 50 walks. Needs to translate his raw power into raw potential into reality. Yeah, I mean, he's 18 years old. There's still a ways to go. OSA likes him about as much as we do, but I like the speed. I like the defensive ratings as an 18-year-old. The positional ratings will develop. We can stick him at second, and he'll be fine as a second baseman defensively. I think R.J. Austin will be our third pick. Now, if Turley's there in the fourth, I may take a run at him. And he is. So I think I'm going to take Turley here in the fourth round and see what it's going to take to sign him. They think we should take Taylor, who's a... Oh. Okay. I think we should... yeah. There are still some players here that I don't want to say are can't miss, but there are players here that are still really good. And I feel like we would be remiss if we didn't take one of these better young pitchers. Like this, he's got the low work ethic. High everything else, low work ethic. That stinks. Everyone has low work ethic in this draft. What the hell? What is wrong with you kids? Nathan Fink. So Andrew Taylor is who they think we should take. He's a 20-year-old. He's pretty well developed already. That's actually not a bad option. High leader, high intelligence. Already has 3 developed pitches. Decent stuff. Movement. His movement and control are a little below average. But 3 good pitches already. Has a changeup that's coming along. All right. We're going to take Andrew Taylor. And now, is the center fielder still there? He is. Turley's still there. We're going to take him in the 5th round. And that way, if we can't re-sign him, if we can't sign him, we get a draft pick next year. So I'm good with that. All right. So it's the 6th round now. So we've got Tucker Tolman, who's not a very good third baseman. Logan Wagner. I've seen Killen turn into a pretty good player in the past. Again, still a long way to go, but that might not be a bad option. I mean, I think he's the best of the remaining position players in terms of their hitting ability or in terms of their overall ability. Yeah. We're going to take Gavin Killen here with the 6th pick. It won't cost us anything. 7th round, we have Brady Davis. I think we're going to take a run at Brady Davis, a 17-year-old. Still a ways away, but could potentially be a two-way player. He's got some hitting ability, and his pitching ability looks decent enough. Yeah, I mean, you never know what you're going to get with a 17-year-old, but I think at this point, I think that's a pretty solid pick for us. Need to develop as many young arms as possible. Jackson Cox. I mean, for an 18-year-old, this is pretty developed, actually. Stuff and control already over 20. So Jackson Cox will be our next pick. Yeah, and I don't mind loading up on pitching because, again, we're going to need pitching. So we're going to need some of these players to develop. There's just no way around it. Low leader, low work ethic. Logan Wagner, low leader, low greed, low work ethic. No real power bats left. Noah Turley, meh. Let's look at defense. Actually, no, let's look at individual pitch potential. Let's go that route. So we got Cooper Dossett. Yep, 18 years old. This is exactly the kind of player I look for. Good stuff. The movement and control are average, but he has 3 potentially great pitches. He's only 18 years old, so if the control develops or the movement develops, he all of a sudden becomes a legit starter. We'll draft a couple of pitchers this way. Alex Havlicek, if he was 18, hands down. But with him being 22, I don't know how much more development there is here. Orion Kirkering. Again, he's 21. 24-year-old, really. And Joyce, no. Josh Eknes, no. I'm looking for age. I'm looking for 18-year-olds if I can find them. Matthew Hoskins. Yep. And he could actually, he's another one that could be a two-way player. He has got decent stuff. Again, the movement and control as an 18-year-old are fine. He's a two-pitch pitcher right now, but if all of these pitches develop, you can get by with a fastball, curveball, and an intermediate changeup. So I'm okay with Matthew Hoskins at this point in the draft. Let's keep going. Again, looking for 18-year-olds. Here's another one, Joe Allen. He's from Hampton Falls, New Hampshire. My old neck of the woods. I am recording, right? Yes, okay. Joe Allen. I don't know if that changeup's ever going to turn into anything. That's my only concern there. Tyler Goff. He's an impossible sign. I don't want to be dealing with too many impossible signs. Caleb Appleby's not bad as a 19-year-old. 2 really good pitches, a changeup that's developing, decent stuff, movement and control. So Caleb Appleby, I guess. Now let's look at fielding and catchers. Any good? Yeah, there are a couple, or at least one. Yeah, there's a couple here. So we got Nathan Webb, who's 23. Cameron Guangarena. High leader, low greed. 24-year-old. I think we're going to take Nathan Webb. High loyalty, adaptability, work ethic, and intelligence. He's 23 already, but the work ethic I'm hoping will allow him to... It's not even our pick. All right, now it's our pick. Hopefully the work ethic will allow him to develop. So, all right, what's next? Fielding ratings. We'll do that. Look at all players. Are all batters. Jerry and Ely. Yep. Can play all 3 outfield positions. I don't know if the bat's ever going to come along, but, if the bat comes along at all, if he gets that random bump and the bat comes along at all, he could be a really good pick for us later in the draft. And he's still there, which is good. So we will take Jerry and Ely. Outfield range. Joel Brewer is 22. If he was 18, sure. But at 22, not really. Jordan Lewis. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Jordan Lewis. He's an 18-year-old. He has some hitting ability. He's got good enough defensive ratings. He can play all 3 outfield positions. He's got good speed, low work ethic, but high leader in loyalty and adaptability. And he's a high schooler, so you never really know what's going to happen with the high schoolers, so that's fine. Infield range. Let's see if we can find some rangy infielders. Marco Martinez can't hit it all. Wait. Okay, so he can actually... Noah Souls can actually play multiple positions. He's either a left fielder or with those defensive ratings, he can't turn the double play at all. That's the problem. All right. Zingy Sabatino from Uganda. Nicholas Perez. I think we're going to go with Perez because he's 17. Again, good defensive ratings. He can play shortstop with those ratings. Good speed. The bat looks good enough for a 17-year-old. So Nicholas, not our pick. Now it's our pick, Nicholas Perez. And we will continue on. So find ourselves a rangy infielder. Found ourselves a rangy outfielder. Let's go to batting potential. Any power bats? Any young power bats? Karsten Sabathia. I was hoping to find somebody with a high work ethic. Any of these kids have a high work ethic? No, of course they don't. Why would they? Dylan Simmons is 20. Cooper Holbrook. There we go. This is what I'm looking for. An 18-year-old with a little bit of pop that could develop as he grows into it. He's a decent enough first baseman, high loyalty and high work ethic. So Cooper Holbrook will be our 16th pick. And I am actually going to try to make every pick in this draft. That's not something I normally do, but I think it's important for this one. So what do we want to look at now? Let's go back to, are there any Any decent pitchers remaining? I mean, not really. There might be if... Again, right now I'm just looking at age, and they're all 21, 22. Lucas Davenport, sure. He's 18 years old, high leader, high loyalty, no control, but potentially 3 good pitches. Movement. We got any movement guys left that are young? Like, I don't want to draft a 24 or 25-year-old because they likely won't develop. But like Drake Flowers, he's got a really low ceiling, it looks like. But as an 18-year-old, you have no idea. And again, high leader, high loyalty, high work ethic, low greed. This looks like a good pick. Drake Flowers, not our pick. Now it's our pick. Where is Drake Flowers? Tell me nobody took him. Did somebody take him? Nope, there he is. Okay. Go to our next pick. Let's find a control guy. Brett Barfield. High leader, high intelligence, really good control. 3 average pitches. That might be the pick. Cade Fisher has got 5 pitches. Jarian Navarez looks like he can play the outfield. So I think we're going to take Navarez because he looks like he can play the out. I mean, he's got the best movement out of those 18-year-olds. The worst stuff, but controls the same. I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter, right? They're 18-year-olds. Actually, this is the guy right here. Oliver Santos, an 18-year-old, 39 stuff, 40 movement, 60 control. Looks like he could have a good changeup, decent fastball, high work ethic. Hopefully he can develop. Cool. All right, let's go back to batting potential. Let's find somebody with a no, look who's number 1. Brandon Smith looks like he could actually, no, I take that back. He's no good. Louis Rodriguez, we could take him as actually, he wouldn't be a terrible pick as an 18-year-old. I mean, the movement's pretty bad, but it looks like he could be a decent enough bat. He can play multiple positions. Yeah, I like Louis Rodriguez. And we'll make him a 2-way player. Louis Rodriguez. Are there any contact guys left? Brandon Smith. Chris Arroyo is a 17-year-old. Again, can play every position. You know, maybe those ratings develop over time. He has 3 potentially good pitches. Sure, Chris Arroyo. He's impossible. Nope. Grant Aycock. Yep, that looks good to me. Stuff and control are average. 3 potentially good pitches. That is fine. Go to our next pick. Base running and my phone. Batters. Any kids in here? Eric Snow. Yep, I like him. Again, good. Again, probably a second baseman with those ratings, but good speed. There's enough here with the bat that the high adaptability and high work ethic tells me that he might hit it. So we're going heavy on the high schoolers in this draft, which I think makes sense for year 1. You know, just find the youngest players you can find that have some talent. Here's another one, Peyton Allen. Really good speed. Again, probably a second baseman, but enough here with the bat that tells me he might be okay. Even though he's only rated at half a star, I'm looking more at his ratings than the actual star rating. So we're at pick 24. What do we want? I mean, we don't really, I mean, need is a loaded question because we need everything. But what should we be looking for? Connor Rasmussen, again, enough of a bat here at age 18 with the speed and the defense that tells me that's probably an okay pick. High work ethic again. An outfielder, Zeb Ruddle. Okay, I'm good with that. Gio Mezzomo. He's probably the most developed bat. Actually, Roman Anthony. Wow. We're going to go Roman Anthony. I don't know how he's still hanging around. I mean, really good gap power. Everything else is average to above average. He's a pretty good defensive outfielder already. So Roman Anthony in the 26th round. Parker Bird. Again, the high adaptability, high work ethic infielders. I'll take it. Jim Jarvis. No, he's too old. Too old for me. Ethan Hott. Yep. Again, good defensively, good speed, enough of a bat at age 18, high adaptability, high work ethic. Ethan Hott. Yeah, 2 more picks. So let's go back to individual pitch potential and let's try to draft a couple of... let's look at all players. All right, Josh Eknes. Yep, high work ethic. He's 20, but with the high work ethic, there might be something there. And anybody with a weird pitch. We got a knuckleballer in this draft. Sam Zlotic. Oh, he's terrible. Oh, he is terrible. But that looks like fun. Then we got Michael Polk. A knuckle curve. Graham. Here we go. This is our last pick right here. Graham Osman has 5 pitches, including a knuckle curveball. Goes to Arizona State, and we will take Graham Osman. All right. So there we go. There is the first-year player draft. We have completed the draft. We have to negotiate. So let's go ahead and offer Green and Shores big money because we've got it. And we've got it right now. We may not have it in the future. So let's offer what we can offer now and get some of these players locked in. Jackson Cox. And then let's see what Gavin Turley is looking for. Significantly above $7 million. Is it? I mean, we may as well spend it. We don't. So is $9 million significantly above? I mean, we spent $25 million on the draft. I mean, we have nowhere else to spend the money. So we have now a ton of players in our minor league system, and really anybody that's 2.5 stars or higher is going to have their AI disabled. And we'll keep an eye on some of these other players. So let's go ahead and just do that. All right. So let's get up to the end of let's get up to the trade deadline, and then we'll pause and we'll take a look at the stats, and then we'll keep simming through the rest of the rest of the month, or the rest of the year, I guess. I mean, honestly, we're better than I thought we would be. Even at 32-56, we are a better team than I thought we would be. I thought we'd be looking at one of those 40-win seasons. But 32-56, I mean, we don't have the worst record in the American League. We have the second worst record in the American League and the third worst record overall. So, you know, even with all of the changes we made, we're no worse off than we were last year. And I got to turn off baseball cards. I got to remember to do that. Yeah, so, I mean, we're on pace to finish just about where we finished last year. So, I mean, is that a bad thing? All right, so it's the trade deadline. We're 37-62. Did our draftees sign with us? It looks like they all did. Let's take a look at the emails real quick. Yep, Turley signed. Okay. So, all-star prospects. We got Jack Leiter in there. Emilio Teodo. And that's it. Who was our all-star? Our all-star was... Did we not have an all-star? Oh, Darwinson Hernandez made the all-star team for us with his .5 WAR. All right, so all of our players signed, so that's good. So let's go in here and make sure that we have them all highlighted, and we disable promotion for all of them. Are there any of them that we want to start higher than... I don't think so. I think we want to start them all in rookie ball, and just, you know, that way we keep them all together. We know who's who. We know how they're doing. Leiter's struggling a bit. Henriquez doing okay. Wynn's hurt. He's out for the year. Crap. All right. Those are the ones that are going to hurt us when we have injuries to our big time prospects. But all right. So I think Huff is going to come up shortly and be. I mean, we got to get him in the lineup. I mean, his bat is. I mean, he's just raking in AAA right now as a 24-year-old. So we got to get him up. So who do we send down? Who is our worst batter? I mean, it's Jung and Tavares. So maybe Jung goes down for now because he's just been so bad defensively or so bad offensively. We have 3 players that are considered shortstops. Tejada's going to go down. He's hitting a .188. So Tejada will go down and Huff will come up. And then what do we do with our lineup? So Ibanez is hitting okay. I think Huff, though. I mean, here's the thing. Trevino's the better defensive catcher, so I don't want to take him out of the lineup just yet. I mean, I'd rather run with a Pozo and Huff lineup and or a catching duo and I think what we're going to do is this. We're just going to make Huff the DH. Doro will back up at short. We'll do the same thing against lefties. Get Huff out there. Just get him playing every day as the DH. See if that bat develops even more. And then when the time comes to move on from Trevino, we can just not sign him, and then we'll run with Pozo and Huff. So for now, we'll have the three catchers on our big league roster. So all right, so it's July 31st. We're 37-62. We're getting some good offensive performances. Some surprise performances. JP Martinez again as a rookie, putting up a 108 OPS plus. We're not good, but I knew we weren't going to be in these first couple of years. I said we're going to be rough. Our pitching is even worse. Bueno is going down here shortly. We've been really bad from a pitching perspective. Maybe. What am I doing? I'm going to the front office and looking at our personnel. All right, well, there's our issue. So that's one of our issues. We need a different pitching coach. So let's look at available personnel and pitching coaches. Look at coach ratings. And we want somebody young who can sort of develop with the team. Poor relationship with all of those players. Tyg Dickinson. He's better. Right now, he's the front runner. Clay Rapata. Nope. Joe Torres. Nope. Why do all of these pitching coaches have good relationships with my hitters but not my pitchers? I don't get it. Is it because my pitchers are terrible and they recognize that and just don't want to have relationships with them? Is that what's going on here? There we go. Giancarlo Alvarado out of Puerto Rico. Does he want to be our pitching coach? He does. All right. And we got to, while we're at it, we'll just find ourselves a different. Do we even need a new pitching coach? Front office. Personnel. Luis Ortiz. No, I need someone who's going to at least be good with Josh Jung, as he's like the only young offensive talent we have. So let's find someone there. Lori Bonilla. Average. But again, I'm looking for young. Young is my biggest concern here because I want someone to sort of develop with the team. Sean Larkin. There we go. Sean Larkin, come on down. You can be our hitting coach. All right. And I'll deal with personnel and stuff after. I don't, these guys aren't, we need to find new bench coaches too. We need to do that right now. Yeah, we need to find new, not bench coaches, base coaches. That's what I was trying to say. Those are the words that I was trying to use. So let's look at base coaches and find someone who's Michael Jordan. How can you not take a run at Michael Jordan? So we're gonna look at Marcus Jensen. And Jensen was outstanding there and excellent. You got to go with Michael Jordan, and we'll make him our third base coach. All right, so we made some changes there. Is Albert Abreu going to win a game this year? What do you think? He's 0-11 right now. Let's go ahead and sim ahead to roster expansion. All right, so we lose Bueno for 4 to 5 weeks. Just stick him on the DL. Kyle Cody can come up. We'll make him a long reliever. Hey, we won a game, 7-2. Very nice. Who got the start? San Martin got the start. Okay, let's go. Let's get to the schedule. Not the schedule, the standings, and sim to roster expansion. Okay, cool. So we got our pitching coach. We got our new third base coach. So we need to come in here now, and I keep going to the wrong option. Front office, staff roles. Let's set, and then we'll get our next coach here in a minute, and we will adjust. All right, so we got Larkin. We got Marcus Jensen. So now we can come back in here and go to staff roles and do this. Yep, that'll work. So Jensen will teach catching. He's excellent. Wakamatsu will teach infield, where he's good. Jordan will teach outfield and running, where he is legendary. Or do we do... Yeah, no, we're going to leave it like that. That works. Yeah, some of these guys don't like each other, but, you know, for the sake of the team, guys, for the sake of the team. So let's keep simming. So we won a few games in a row here. Look at that. We changed coaches, and we win a bunch of games in a row. Latz gets hurt again. Any pitchers that we want to call up? We'll call up Jacob Lemoyne. Make Kyle Cody our starter. Abreu is now 0-12. Get to roster expansion. Hernandez gets suspended. Looks like Taveras had a pretty good stretch of games there. Hey, but we're at a 400 winning percentage. So, I mean, we're bad, and we're amongst the worst teams in baseball, but you know what? It's an improvement. It's absolutely an improvement over where we were. Are we going to reach 60 wins? Josh Jung gets hurt. That one stings a little. Bueno's ready to come back. But we're at roster expansion, so we can call up a couple of players here. We can call Tejada back up, and we will call up... Yeah, Justin Slayton's not ready. I'd like to leave him there. We'll call up Spees. So we'll put Cruz in at third base. I mean, he's a terrible third baseman, but, you know, maybe... I guess he's not a terrible third baseman. He just doesn't have a lot of range. But if he can hit for some power... that would be nice. So Cruz can go in as our third baseman. How is Huff doing? 13 for 64, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. Yeah, I mean, he's not great. Taveras, yeah, 218, not particularly good. JP Martinez is a 3-win player in his rookie campaign. Having never played above high A ball, I'll take it. Still putting up over a 100 OPS plus, kind of for Falefa. Doing fine. I mean, he's on pace for almost 4 wins. He's still below average with the bat, but great defensively, good speed, and enough offensively. Guzman is our lone power in the lineup. He's got 28 home runs this year. Good for 2 WAR. Yanni Hernandez is a 360 on base percentage at the top of the order. If he can hit for just I mean, he's hitting 270. I mean, absolutely no power to speak of. He only has 15 extra base hits, but a 350 on base percentage at the top of the lineup is fine. Trevino's been fine. Pozo's hitting pretty well as a backup catcher, and then it's just varying levels of suck. Yet Florial hasn't been good. hasn't been good, but defensively, he's by far the best we have, and he has some home run pop. So we will continue to let him go out there. And then pitching-wise, it's been really ugly. John King, our leads us in wins. He's 8-9. San Martin is 7-8. Abreu's now 0-14. Let's get to the end of the regular season, shall we? And then we'll call it an episode here. Very, very long first episode since we've got half of the live stream from Sunday on here. Martin's out for a week. The goal is just to win more than we won last year, right? We won 60 games last year, and we're well on our way to win more than 60 this season. We're still at a 400 winning percentage, so it looks like we're still going to be a bottom 5 team, but 60 and 102 last year, and we are very, very close to coming in ahead of that this year. So who do I want to send down? Lemoyne. Call Jung back up. Get him back in the lineup for Cruz. He's actually hitting fairly well. 250 with 8 home runs. I mean, he's doing okay. Doing okay. Need more out of Jung, though. Absolutely need more out of Jung, for sure. One of the few legit quality bats that we have in our lineup. Next month. Oh, I have to... what else do I need to do? I need to come in here and I need to set this. Minor league personnel. We're just going to set the AI to that. I'm not... you know what? Maybe we do pay some attention to that in this and try to find the right coaches this off season. So I think we're going to do that. So let's get to next month. Still looking for win 60. Spays comes up and immediately gets better. He hasn't pitched particularly well, but he immediately jumped up in terms of his ratings. Florial got better. Any of our young guys getting better? Nothing for us there. So we may come up short of 60 wins. It looks like we've hit a bad patch here towards the end of the season. Here's our 60th win. All right, so 61 wins. All right, so we do finish better than we did last year. We end up with 62 victories this season. We had 60 a year ago. So I consider this season a success. We had a pretty solid first year. We've got Jack Leiter, who's coming along. He'll start next season in Double-A ball. Josh Jung struggled in his initial season in the big leagues. Cole Winn is hurt. We'll take a quick look at the team stats, and then we'll go through the pipeline because that's really what we're concerned about here. So offensively, we were led by Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. Had 3.9 WAR on the season, 42 doubles, 8 triples, 7 home runs. Had a fine year. JP Martinez ended up just under 100 OPS plus as a rookie, but stole 20 bases. He was almost a 2020 rookie. Ronald Guzman, 36 home runs, 117 RBIs. Yanni Hernandez, 352 on base percentage. Trevino was fine as our starting catcher. Really bad with the bat, but fine. Really good with the glove. Tavares had a decent, looks like maybe he bounced back a bit. That OPS or the WAR was up a bit as the year went on. Yeah, I mean, August, September, October, he was, the average was better. You can see it's just awful here, May, June, and July. But August, September, and October, the average was better, if not the on-base percentage and the slugging. So, if nothing else, he'll be our starting center fielder until something better comes along, until Green is ready. Pozo was hit really well as a backup catcher. That's probably his long-term role. Doro was fine as a backup middle infielder, I guess. Banez was fine as a backup. Jung didn't hit. Huff and Cruz both hit for a little bit of power. The averages were light. They struck out a crap ton, but a little bit of power. Florial hit 24 home runs, only hit 213. If he hit 230, I could live with everything else. So hopefully that average can increase here a little bit. And pitching was just a disaster across the board. We didn't have a single pitcher who was worth more than one win. John King was our best at .9. It was just really bad top to bottom. There's really nothing to look at here. Hernandez had a pretty good season for us with a 3.12. Bueno was fine. So we got a couple of decent relievers in Bueno and Hernandez. But that's really about it. We need to do something about our starters, and that's going to take a while. Albert Abreu wins 3 games down the stretch to finish the season 3-16. Good for him. All right, so now it's time to look. Are our new players going to show up on here? No, they're not. So let's just do it this way. So if we come in here, we go to the minor leagues. Elijah Green, how'd he do? 328, 373, 612. That's nice. I don't know if he's going to... No, I need him in center. I need him playing every single day in center field. And these are the things I'm going to have to remember to do going forward. Spend more time on the prospects and less time on the big league team right now. Acuna, he hit pretty well. Austin came up and didn't really hit. Had Jackson Cox do. He struggled, so he'll start in rookie ball next year as well. Same thing with Brady Davis, Gavin Killen didn't really play much. I got too many minor league shortstops, so I'm gonna have to make some of these players other positions, but that's something we'll do at the beginning of the next draft. Ian Moeller, another catching prospect. Chase Shores, our number 2 pick, was really good in rookie ball last year. That's nice to see. Andrew Taylor didn't pitch particularly well, but he's probably ready to move up. Gavin Turley hit the ball really well. I want him in right field. For now. And that's it for the main players. Cooper Dossett was one of those picks because of the pitches, so we'll see what happens there. Josh Eknes, 29th round pick this season, and he's already 1.5 star, 2.5 star, so he's improved. So we're going to go ahead and for all of these guys, we are going to disable AI promotion. Collie doesn't belong. He hit 250. Carter, 17 home runs. Henriquez ended up struggling in high A ball. He'll probably start in Double A next year with Leiter and Win. Cody Bradford. He's coming along. He looks like he's developed because he wasn't on this list of 2.5 star players that we had before. So we will disable AI promotion for all of these guys. Very, very good defensively, Chris Seiss. And then up here we got Curtis Terry and Justin Slayton, who will probably be one of our starters next year. So, so we don't have a lot of money, or we have plenty of money, but nothing to spend it on. Hopefully, as some of these players start to... Fan interest has actually gone up from a 47 to a 55 this year, so hopefully that means they like what we're doing here. And we can start to kind of turn things the other direction. So we won 2 more games this year than we won a year ago. I believe, right? They were 60. Yeah. 60 and 102 last year. This year we were 62 and 100, but we have some more significant depth in our minor league system. Our first round pick, our number 1 pick, number 4 overall, Elijah Green, will be our starting center fielder probably in the next few years. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know if you think I should have made that pick or not, and or what I should have done if not Elijah Green. But guys, that's going to do it for this episode. We will be back. Ooh, Teodo got a lot better too. That's nice. Cool. So we have some players that are starting to develop already. So through 1 year, things are looking pretty good for us. I'm happy with the way the first year went. That's going to do it. So we will be doing the live stream on Sunday night, 7 p.m. And we'll get through... My guess is we'll get through a couple of seasons during that live stream, but we'll see how it goes. So appreciate your thoughts, guys. I appreciate you watching, and let me know what you think of this. It's going to be a lot of fun. Talk to everybody soon. Bye-bye.